good because it's supposed to be your number one pitcher. The thing about the Royals is it can be a little tough because some people want to point the blame at Dayton Moore. At the same time, you don't know behind the scenes what David Glass is telling him as far as what kind of money he can spend.
Yeah.
Because if David Glass is like, hey, we want a World Series, I don't want to spend the money, let's take our time, blah, 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 then Dayton Moore's kind of hands are tied and he can't sign any bullpen help. Because literally the guys that, if you check out the signings that the Royals did this year, it was literally guys that we could trade. Mm-hmm. That was it. It was guys we could flip.
I mean, I pretty much knew, I'm not a big baseball guy, but when they got Moose to sign that deal, you pretty much knew, like, that's a club-friendly deal, so we're going to trade you at some point as long as you're having a good year.
Yeah, and you knew for a fact Moustakas was going to be traded. His average is not great right now. It's like a 249 at the same time. If you're not in the lineup, if you're not surrounded by other decent hitters, you're going to suffer. And if you're not winning, your average is going to suffer too. The big thing about Moose is Milwaukee started him at third. He's a fantastic third baseman.
He is. Great fielder.
As far as defense goes, he's top 5. I can't remember if he's won a Gold Glove or not, but he is top 5. And the thing about the Royals, the year they won the World Series, was that their defense was way on point. Like, best in the league, maybe second to the Astros, but the Astros hadn't hit their stride yet the year we won the World Series. Mm-hmm. They've obviously hit it now because they won last year, and the Astros are looking good to win another one this year because they're probably the deepest team in the league as far as like their roster and everything. But the thing is, you knew for a fact that the Royals weren't going to do much this year, especially when they didn't offer Locaine anything.
Yeah.
And he goes to Milwaukee, and the thing is, you can't get mad at him for taking the money.
Nope. Like Hosmer.
Oh, dude, the thing is, you can only play for so long if the team you're with in a sport that has no salary cap, if they don't want to offer you the contract that you think you're worth, test the market. Do your thing. Locaine got paid off. Hosmer definitely got paid off.
Yeah.
And then Moustakas will eventually get paid off. I think the market for third baseman was just a little bit saturated, and so he didn't get much. But he has I think it's a team option.
He'll be fine, yeah.
Well, the thing is, if Milwaukee does well with him, he has a team option. They'll pick him back up.
Yeah.
And I think his next year's contract
they'll give him a better
is
deal.
the big money for him. So, Royals fans, if you guys end up becoming Brewers fans during the playoffs, I can't even hate on it.
Nope. I mean, they've got a few of our guys. I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I will follow once it gets to the playoffs.
I totally watch it.
I'll be cheering for the Brewers.
The thing is, too, it's crazy. Major League Baseball, it's 162 games, so it's a marathon, and they don't always go 100% all the time, just because it is a marathon. But once you hit the playoffs, it's 110%.
It's really
all the
good
time.
baseball.
And the lineups, the pitching lineups turn to 4 pitchers instead of 5, and it starts getting really good. So, just on a final note, just want to say thank you to Mike Moustakas for everything you did for the club. We drafted you. You came up with the core. You won in Omaha. You won down here. It was a heck of a ride, and wishing you the best. And I'll say it, playoffs. Go Brewers, man! Come on, do that thing. Get that ring.
Yep, I'll be cheering for those guys. Thanks again, Mike Moustakas. For everything you did for Kansas City, Locaine, Hosmer, all those guys. You brought us a world championship.
Yeah,
and in our lifetime, only a handful of cities get to see that, and that was amazing.
Yeah, if you don't live in New York or live in Boston or live in Los Angeles, I mean, it's something you wait on.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that team was really nice, man. They got it in the first place, and they stayed the whole way, and just kind of cruised. They had problems with the Astros in the divisional round, and they cruised through the World Series. So
hey, that's all we got this week. We were kind of all over the place, but thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging in there with us. And we'll be back with another show next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we appreciate every listen, and make sure you tweet us at Midwest Mikes. We're on Facebook under Midwest Mikes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio. By the way, if you do have a problem finding the show on Spotify or iHeartRadio, tweet at us and let us know so that we can try to figure out what the problem is.
That's right. Also, Snapchat Midwest Mike.
Yeah, Snapchat Midwest Mikes. Any social media, just hit us up. Feel free. We try to respond to every message, every tweet we get, to get back with you guys, because without the fans, we don't have a show. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.